Fairbanks Focus is a locally produced public affairs program created in part by University of Alaska Fairbanks, KTVF, and Fairbanks Economic Development Corporation.
Thanks for joining us today here at Fairbanks Focus Alaska View. I'm Nanette Pearson, and today I am joined by Eric Swenson from Fairbanks Fast Photo. Hi Eric, thanks for joining us.
Hello world.
And some of you out there may already know this, that I have worked at Fairbanks Fast Photo for on and off over the years, and really excited to have you here and to tell people out there about all the super awesome things we offer. So tell me a little bit about Fairbanks Fast Photo, where it's at.
So we've existed in Fairbanks since 1974. This moved around quite a few times, but now, you know, most people know us from the Shoppers Forum Mall, over where Gartchuck's used to be. And that is now where we also used to be. We have moved across the parking lot next to Bamboo Panda, so anyone who's had a Chinese food hankering probably has experienced seeing us right next door and picking up some camera gear while they're looking for food as well. So
if you're looking for it, it's the big sign that says Alaska Camera in red now.
Yeah, and if you call and you're looking for Fairbanks Fast Photo, we're going to answer Alaska Camera, but we're still the same people. We decided on name change to make it clear that we sell a lot more than just photos, which is pretty important these days because a lot of people are doing Facebook and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and so we have a great web presence now too, so people can check it out. What's the website?
It's either alaskacamera.com or fairbanksfastphoto.com. They both go to the same place, and on the website you can literally see everything that we carry, camera gear wise, tripods, all that stuff, as well as upload anything from your computer or from your Facebook even, and do prints, do GIFs, all kinds of stuff. We can do pretty much anything that we do in the store on the website. So.
Well, and of course, I've worked there from way back in the times gone by when we developed slides and mounted them, and we can still send those out and do those for you, but what we offer has always been pretty amazing, and now it's just ridiculously extensive. So it's pretty cool, and being someone who's worked in the photo field and has worked at other labs and other photo shops, I have to say, like, Fairbanks has one of, hands down, the best, most diverse photo shops. You can kind of get your picture on anything.
Yeah, I've worked a couple of photo shops down in Seattle, up in Anchorage and different stuff, and we really are one of the biggest and most wide breadth of stuff that we carry that I've ever seen. So it's kind of cool that you can be in little old Fairbanks and have such a nice big store.
Well, and as someone who works in customer service, it's really nice to work somewhere where, you know, we do everything we can to meet the customer's needs. Because it's, you know, because we are still in Fairbanks and it's still a small locally owned business, you know, we meet the needs, we find whatever we can for people, and I think that's awesome. So, but I know you brought a bunch of stuff to show people today too.
I've got my box of tricks here. I'll start with the most obvious and incredible of all the things we offer, is myself here on my own tie, which you could even order through the website. I think we have the tie on the website. Don't quote me.
If not, you can come into the store.
Just come see me and I'll put you on your own tie or anything else on there you'd like. But you see here, Happy Father's Day, you're the best. Love, your son Eric, with a little wink.
And so if they just have a picture but don't really know how to do the layout, we can do that for them.
We can do whatever we want. So here I am floating in a white space. We can Photoshop you up and chop you to pieces and do whatever the heck we want to do and put you on just about anything. For example, I have brought here documentation of my wife and myself arriving on the planet. This is my wife here, falling down from heaven there. And this is me popping up from the bowels of the earth. And we made a mug to commemorate that. And I drink my daily coffee in that, so that's very nice.
Well, and of course we have mugs. You can also get your pictures on water bottles, puzzles, and I know you've got some other stuff in there too.
Now this here is only for cheese. as it says, glass cheese board on it.
We have square ones too, if you're looking for just a regular cutting board.
And big ones. But this guy, we just, whatever the heck you want, basically, we can put it on anything. I even brought, let's see, pardon the paper noise here, but we have, I think you'll like this, of course.
Yes.
iPad cover that does all the cool stuff. So you can put, I mean, we just put a mountain on there. Kind of boring, but I think you could put, I don't know, your dog or something on there. Cool. We have iPhone cases for both the 4 and the 5.
And that's like $30, right?
$24.
So
and you can order that on the website.
Yeah, $25. You can put whatever picture you want on your iPhone case. Make it personalized.
It's legit case too. It's actually really, it's pretty nice, pretty well built. And then one thing that's been doing super duper well for us has been canvas wraps.
Yeah, so for the art crowd, you have a picture of your mom, your dog, your cousin, your grandma got married. Whatever.
Your pet bird.
That got eaten by your pet dog. And it's been really, really popular, and it looks really fantastic on the wall.
Yep, this
kind of pops right out.
This is a canvas, literal actual canvas print that we then coat with a UV protective coating. A couple different coatings, glossy, satin, matte, whatever you want to do, and then it's actually wrapped on a wooden frame. And it's we do it in town, in-house, in just a couple days, and it's actually usually cheaper than online. Yeah. And it's not shipping across the world. And
nice. That's something that I think is really fantastic, is when you come and you order something in our store, you're ordering it from a person. And we are the people who are then going to make that product for you in-house. We're not sending it out to the middle of nowhere. There are a couple things we still send out. We make giant blankets, for instance, and we're not weaving in the back yet, as I always tell people. No. We do still send the blankets out to be made.
We're working on that. We're trying to find some sweatshop kids to get going.
But it's pretty amazing, all the things that you can do. I know we put them on aluminum. There's just some really, really, and here's an aluminum demonstration right here.
So this guy here is a hard aluminum panel that just kind of floats on the wall. You can see the mountain blocks there. Super high contrast, really, really nice detail on these guys. These have been super popular since they came out. They've only been on the market a couple years, but we did this one in house. That's even my picture. So fan mail later, but we can do all the way up to 24 by 36 on these. I didn't even mention that we can make this one 40 by 60 would be the largest size in inches, so taller than most children.
Yeah, so if there's a giant space on your wall and you're just trying to figure out how you want to fill it, and that picture that we have of us at the Grand Canyon, if I could only get that in a 40 by 60, we can do that for you in-house.
That's something people say all the time.
Yep, and we can do it for you in-house generally in about a week. So, that cuts down on your 4 to 6 week shipping time that most places they're asking for you when you're ordering it online. And it is cheaper if you go and you compare. And what better way to support local business and keep local business here and keep your dollars in Fairbanks?
Mm-hmm. Did I bring any other things cool to show you?
Well, and so we also still do the old school stuff. You got film. You got a drawer full of film that you forgot about 5 years ago that you've never had developed. We do that. We also do something that's, I think, really awesome called the shoebox scanning. Mm-hmm. So you have a trunk full of photographs from your grandma and everybody wants a copy. We can scan all those pictures for you. Is it more than 20?
Yeah, so anything above 20. Right now we've got a kit that's a literal shoebox that you buy from us, $199. And you fill it up with up to 1,000 pictures, and at your leisure, bring it in, and we'll scan it up, get it on a CD for you, a DVD, whatever it needs to be. And that actually saves you quite a bit of cash from our regular pricing. So we got those kits ready to go and sitting on our counter ready.
Well, and I know there's tons of people out there who just have all these pictures at home that they really love to get digitized, and it just seems like it's so time-consuming or not affordable. So if you have mass quantities, we can help you out.
Mm-hmm. We do. A lot of people are doing video transfers now. Lots of high 8 mini DV, VHS, all that sort of stuff. You can get that onto a DVD. We can do that for you. We can put it onto a thumb drive if you'd like. We can kind of do whatever you want. And speaking of whatever you want, all these things that I'm showing, it doesn't actually matter what your picture is. If it's on a phone, if it's on a camera, if it's on your Facebook, if it's on a real piece of paper, we can turn it into something else. It doesn't really matter. We have the powers.
We have the technology.
We have the technology to rebuild it into something else.
Well, and so we've talked about the photo end of Fairbanks Fast Photo. Let's talk a little bit about the camera end of Alaska Camera.
Yeah, so our most popular thing lately has been, where did I put it? There it is. Has been our camera rentals. So I brought this monstrosity here. Ta-da! So we actually have a whole bunch of rentals going on. It's been really popular for Northern Lights. This one, obviously, is what you'd take to Denali.
And this is a 300 millimeter fixed lens. It's got a 2.8 f-stop. So this market retails for about how much?
The newest version's $10,000.
So most people can't really spend $10,000 to go take pictures for the week that they're in Denali.
Right.
But you can rent this guy for $55 a day.
Mm-hmm. And it goes down too. So if you went for a week, it's actually quite a bit less than $55 a day. This is the most redonkulous one, which is why I bought it. But we've got macro, we've got ultra wide, we've got camera bodies, so you could actually get a whole complete professional setup and just go in for a few days and act like you know what you're doing for pretty cheap. But this one really is my favorite just because it's so gigantic.
Well, I know we've had different professionals around town that have come and just rented equipment that they needed for specific shoots for the day, and it's fantastic if you can't afford a brand new 5D.
Right.
So.
Or 1DX or anything like crazy like that. And then we also, of course, sell a lot of stuff. Our most popular thing lately has been, I know this might be invisible to you because of the camouflage, but if you can squint, you might be able to see this camera here. This little guy is a tough cam, so I could throw it on the ground right now and it'd be just fine. I'm not going to do that. But this guy here has been really popular. This one has it's kind of incredible what you can get in these little cameras. This one has full 1080p video. You can go 30 feet underwater with it. You can drop it in the gravel. It has GPS, so it'll even tell you where each of your pictures were. And it also has Wi-Fi, which I can even show you off. That's been a really popular thing on a lot of the new cameras, and I've even experienced it myself, is I'll be like, click, 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 oh, sweet. And then I want to like share it to everybody, but I can. It's stuck in my camera, but not anymore. So I can show it to you if you want.
Yeah, that would be great. Give us a quick demo.
All right. So here with my fancy iPhone 5, I can take a picture of Nanette using my iPhone if you're ready for it. And this is not only on Nikons, we have it on Sonys, we have it on Canons. There's quite a few cameras that can do this sort of thing. The Nikon is unique in that you can use it as a remote control. So that's been pretty fun to screw around with.
Well, and I know it comes on the 60, which is a higher end, as well as some of the smaller models. So anywhere between a couple $100 camera to a couple $1,000 camera, you can get those Wi-Fi features.
And we even carry cards that you can place into an older camera and make it Wi-Fi too. So you could take a picture and immediately have it pop right onto your iPhone and share it away, or your Android. That's allowed too. So let me take a photo of Nanette here.
And this is pretty much just an application that you put on the phone?
So here's Nanette on my iPhone screen. And now I'll take a picture. Ta-da! And so now it's on my phone already.
So it's ready to send to the internet, just like that. And of course, as anyone who's out there taking pictures is probably pretty aware of, most of these cameras do a much better job than your actual phone will.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
So yeah.
So now I can tag her, make a terrible comment, and send it straight to Facebook or anywhere else that I'd like to.
Yes.
And you could use it for clandestine stuff. I mean, you can be pretty far away. It's Wi-Fi, so you can do some pretty fun things with these little guys. But that's pretty straightforward. I mean, you just turn it on and go. I like that a lot. Ta-da!
So there are all kinds of fantastic things that we're offering people out there in the world at Fairbanks Fast Photo. And so do come check us out. Like I said, we're over there on Cowles and Airport. Tell them where we can reach them by phone.
456-8896.
Well, again, thank you very much for joining us here today at Fairbanks Focus, Alaska View.
There you go.
And we'll see you next time. Next up, we have Samantha Larson interviewing my husband, Sean Weixelman.
Hello there, and thank you for joining us. I'm Samantha Larson with the Fairbanks Focus, Alaska View. Today I'm sitting down with Sean Weixelman, creator and visual effects artist of the new pilot and hopefully series crossover. Sean, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We are lucky enough to have the trailer for this show, so if you wouldn't mind Take a look.
It's not like any other sci-fi I've seen before or read before. It's original, it's new.
This is the first thing I've been involved in that's an actual TV pilot that's done by everyone from this state. And it's really nice to have an all-Alaskan cast, an all-Alaskan crew.
Crossover is a story that takes place on a planet that stopped rotating, and so one side's light and one side's dark. There are two societies, two cultures that have developed, one mystical, the other that's high technology.
So you get magic and you get laser beams, it's great.
Sean Wexelman has been working on this for a long time.
Crossover is the extreme obsession of my father, who he has found countless excuses to work on this project as opposed to like playing Barbies with me.
Do you remember when New Zealand was like the place to film? That's Alaska now.
Everything you could possibly need, all in one location.
It's many locations, many environments, oceans, and lakes, and mountains, and glaciers, and sand dunes.
We have sand, like deserts randomly. I mean,
there's also like big city. We don't need to go to California. We don't need to go to New York.
It's perfect for a planet that's, day and night, because on one time of the year you have perpetual night, on the other part of the year you have perpetual day.
Because of where Alaska is located on our planet,
our sunsets last a really long time for the borderlands. So like it'll just go, wee, the sun doesn't really set for like only a minute and then it goes back up.
With Crossover, almost all of the work is done with the exception of shooting it. The actors are here, the crews are here, we're trained, we're talented, and we're all ready to do this.
This has been thought out over a decade. The props, the details, the animation.
we have everything that we need except for the money.
So fund it so we can keep it Alaskan.
I'm just really freaking excited to be involved in this project. It just sounds awesome.
I'm telling everybody about this. I'm on Facebook. I'm putting these things on Facebook. Look at this. Isn't this cool?
You should donate money so that my father can actually start spending time with me.
Wow, that is something else.
Well, thanks.
I'm really excited.
I am too.
I want to see more. Give me more.
There's more to see. First thing people can do is check out crossoverpilot.com. There's a lot more content there and links to the Indiegogo page where we're raising funds.
Indiegogo?
Indiegogo.
Okay. So tell me, what is Crossover?
Well, Crossover started as a comic book that I published back in 2007 and sold at the comic shop and Gulliver's. And the idea is that you have a planet that stopped rotating. Mm-hmm. And so on one side of the planet you have one civilization, and on the other side of the planet you have a different one. And so our story is about first contact between those two civilizations.
Okay.
And the genesis for the idea really came from living in Alaska and the difference between summer and winter. Mm-hmm. And when I was a kid, they first started really discovering these planets that were locked to their star, mm-hmm. so that one side always faced the sun. And they have what's called the Goldilocks zone right around the border between night and day. Mm-hmm. And in that area, you have the most habitable conditions for life. So there's one of these planets, Gliese 581, mm-hmm. that's a super Earth. It's 5 times the size of Earth. And there's an idea that it could possibly have liquid water and therefore life in that Goldilocks band that's not too hot and not too cold.
And this is an actual
This is a
planet.
real planet, yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. I need to start brushing up on planets.
Well, there's fascinating stuff out there, and they're learning more every day.
So are you from Alaska?
I moved up here when I was a kid and went to high school here. And for the first 2 years that I was here, I was only here for the summer. And so the first time that I was here for the winter, it really struck me that it really is like an entirely different world.
Oh, absolutely. I just did my first winter, and I'm thinking the whole time, what the heck is going on?
Well, congratulations, you made it through.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was fascinating. But so back to crossover. Is it all students that are involved?
It's not. We have a lot of students and we have a lot of recent graduates, but we have a lot of people who have been working independently in the film industry outside of affiliation with the university. Okay.
But the majority of the
I would say that the majority of our crew and definitely our cast are students.
Students, okay. So what channels are you going through at UAF in terms of developing the production and putting it out there?
Well, we've had an enormous amount of help from the students and faculty at UAF. Maya Selganic has made all sorts of contacts for us. She's arranged for us to be able to shoot in the Museum of the North, which is, I mean, we have this amazing science fiction architecture here in town. It's just so perfect. And the ability to shoot there actually after hours. They're going to hold the place for us, and we'll be able to really take control of it and make it like a home base of operations for one of these characters. And it's just the coolest thing.
I can imagine.
There's the botanical gardens as well, the Georgeson Botanical Gardens that we can arrange to use. And also people like Jerry Brightwell and her workshopping class have been through the story and really, really polished our script down to something that's just phenomenal. I mean, we've got these great locations and we've got super talented actors and cast and crew, and now we have a really, really strong story to tell as well.
But I'm so excited. It just seems also interesting. So let's take a step back just for a moment. You said that you started from a comic book that you wrote yourself?
Yeah, and the comic book's kind of interesting because it's not made in a traditional way. I made the comic book by photographing people in costume and then compositing those images with computer graphics and overpainting the result with a tablet to blend it. So it translates to film very well. I already have a lot of the props and costumes.
That's really interesting that you just, with your mind, you thought of all of this on your own. I mean, my creativity stops at drawing stick figures.
Well, I mean, a lot of it's kind of an exploration of genre conventions. The preconceptions that people have going in when they know that they're watching science fiction and they know that they're watching fantasy. And it's the idea of comparing and contrasting these preconceptions and developing them as we develop our characters and develop our world.
Interesting way to look at it. So tell me, where's the funding play into this? I mean, I know that film productions take a lot of time and a lot of money. I mean, and,
a lot of money.
Students, we don't make that much. So how is it all going to come together?
A lot of the funding is coming from fellow Alaskans. They've been really supportive. There's a lot of incentive to keep things in our state and to promote Alaskan filmmaking.
Right.
But we're also getting support from the entire planet. Through Indiegogo and our fundraising efforts there, people are coming in from all over, donating funds, offering their time. We just signed a composer out of Georgia who's likely to be our only non-Alaskan crew member. Amazing work. Really, really excited about having him on the team to compose an original score.
And tell me just a little bit for our viewers who aren't familiar with Indiegogo, what is it?
Most people are familiar with Kickstarter and the idea of crowdfunding. Indiegogo is very similar to Kickstarter, but it actually has an emphasis on independent film and is statistically more successful with funding independent films. It's one of the reasons we went with it, with Indiegogo rather than Kickstarter.
Oh, okay, makes sense. So as far as the funding goes, are you where you need to be? Are you
We're
close?
not. We've just started. And interestingly enough, it's actually much harder to reach the 20% mark than it is to reach the 100% mark. Right now, it's a matter of building momentum and getting the word out there, even more than it actually is about raising the individual dollars.
Right.
So if people want to help, if they think that this is a good idea and they want us to see all of the funds that we need to really take it to fruition, just spread the word. Not everybody even has $1 to donate, but if you tell one other person and that person tells one other person, you keep the chain going and you keep the momentum going.
Oh yeah, snowball effect.
Absolutely.
Domino all the way
down. And that's what we're working towards. Once you hit that 20%, all of a sudden you start showing up on the main page of the site. And more importantly, the internet and the world at large kind of starts taking you more seriously. They see it as more of a possibility, and they're willing to kind of side with this idea of success.
So as far as the students that are currently involved, is your cast full? Are you still looking for people? How's that working?
We still need 2 more parts. We still need 2 more guys. Male actors are a little bit hard to find in Fairbanks. So if there's any actors out there watching right now, you can contact us through crossoverpilot.com. You can come to the next read-through, and we'd love to have you.
I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there's plenty that are dying. So as far as UAF is concerned, do you think in a way that being involved with the school, not only using the facilities and having current students and graduated students involved, do you think this will benefit
absolutely.
UAF students
we
at all?
have enormously talented cast and crew members that really just need a high-profile outlet to showcase their work. And we can absolutely do that for them.
Okay. And as far as the show is concerned, what are the long-term goals for it?
Well, this is a pilot episode. So the idea is we put the story out there, and we put the hook out there. And we all believe very strongly that when people see that introductory episode, that they're going to want more. And then we ideally pick up a producer, or it's possible that we either work with outside funders, which I'd rather not do. I'd rather keep it entirely Alaskan. Or it's also possible that we might be able to produce a series through crowdfunding again if we build up a big enough fan base now.
And have you gone through any, other than Indiegogo, have you gone through any local channels
absolutely.
in Fairbanks so far? What are those?
We're working with the Sunstar for exposure there. I mean, of course, we're putting up flyers, and I have friends who are doing additional publicity and just old-fashioned boots on the ground, word of mouth all over town.
Okay, I'm really, I can't stop saying how excited I am. Would you say it's sci-fi? Is that correct?
I would call it sci-fi's fantasy. I'm going to draw it right down the middle.
Okay. So I'm a big sci-fi fantasy buff. Anything. But is there anything coming up in the near future that you would like to mention?
We do have the art show on First Friday at Keller Architecture and Allied Arts. It's on Wells Street. It's the one with the crazy tree out front. And that's on First Friday in April. And we'd love to have you there. We're going to have some work-in-progress film to show, and we're also going to have props and costumes to show you, as well as comic books to sell for campaign contributions.
I'm excited. I'll have to join that too. Just one last thing. What would you say is the main department that's involved at UAF? Would you say film?
Yes, definitely the film department. Okay. We're having assistance from the theater department, which is now closely tied to the film department, and also the art and English departments. But the film department is really the primary force behind this.
Well, hopefully this will kind of get the word out to more students who aren't aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in filmmaking, the degree program at UAF is fantastic, and it's just now building momentum too, and really starting to take off. There's a great future for filmmakers in Alaska, and a lot of reasons to join the film industry. I mean, and just in economic terms, a diverse economy is a strong economy, so there's a lot of reason to support filmmaking in Alaska too.
All right, well, I, again, cannot express how excited I am to see it. I really hope that it takes off, that it gets up there, and we can watch something, blossom that's truly Alaskan people, and like she said, filmed here in Alaska. So that's going to do it for us here today. I'm Samantha Larson with Sean Wexelman. Take a look. Let's see what happens with this pilot. Thank you for joining us.